Welcome back to Overnights. I'm Bougie in Atlanta. Let's get into it. Yesterday we left off with Monique. Monique set Club Shay Shay ablaze. And let me just say this. These are my takeaways from the interview. I've watched it in totality probably 3 times. You know, it's really sad that we as black people finally have people who have their own studios when it comes to film and television production, and some A-list celebrities that can open doors for us. I'll say it that way. But I will tell you, between Katt Williams and Monique, both of their interviews together have pulled back the left and the right curtains on Hollywood. And it's really sad that the people that have made it to that upper echelon in the industry, that are the bosses, are really just doing the same things that Hollywood has always done to black people. And what I mean by that is, we have a few black people who have made it to the ranks of bosses in this industry, who can open the doors, open the gates, if you will, and they're just gatekeeping black people. So that makes me think that when you go back to the Katt Williams interview, we all believed him, when he talked about certain people and, the way they got into the industry, and some rode the coattails of others. But now, we're talking about not just one person being a puppet for Hollywood. We're talking about 3, possibly 4 people. And it's sad that for decades we're thinking these people are putting their people on, but that's not what's happening. Because the very 3 people Monique talked about, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Kevin Hart, and we're gonna come back to that last one. Those people, when you think about it, Tyler Perry plays a lot of the roles in his productions and things like that. I think Oprah Winfrey, she has a magazine. She's been on, I think, every cover since that magazine was produced. And then we have Kevin Hart. You hear him say that he's the busiest man in Hollywood. And here's the thing. When you look at Oprah's magazine and how long it's been out and how many covers there's been, imagine if she wasn't on every cover and she could put other people on. And by on, I mean on the cover and on in the business, to the point where they become self-sufficient and can go out and put others on. But if you're the only person on all your magazine covers, are you really putting other people on? And then, you have Tyler Perry, he plays, Medea and other things like that. And you would think that with the studio the size of a former military base, that he has the ability to put people on, make them self-sufficient. But how many people has he really put on? I guess that's the question. And then you have Kevin Hart. And we're going to come back to, I'm going to play a clip from Monique's interview with Club Shay Shay with Shannon, with Kevin Hart, because that is just, I'm like, wow, it really just was kind of jaw-dropping. And out of the 3, I would say I'm not really surprised by what was said about Kevin Hart, because Katt already spilled the beans. But Monique took a deeper look, gave us more information about the person, not just his ascent to stardom, but his character. So we're going to come back to that. But the other 2, I am disappointed. And, from what was said about how Oprah handled Monique's interview, whereas Barbara Walters wouldn't touch it out of respect for Monique. And I understand why Monique was upset with Oprah, because she looked up to Oprah, when she was growing up. And, Monique has also followed some of those same footsteps. Oprah had a talk show. Monique has had a talk show, if not maybe 2. And, it's sad that the few people we have had to rise to the upper echelons in the industry are actually just blackballing people with their power. Now, it's said that, Tyler Perry apologized but it doesn't seem like he's made any amends to open the door for Monique to replace the resources, the money, the millions that she lost because of the things that he said. Now, I'm thinking, you know, in 2024, people file defamation lawsuits left and right. So, you know, it would behoove her to do something like that. But, you know, I guess she has her reasons. And apparently there's audio of this admission of, you know, wrongdoing. But again, there's been no amends. And going back to that Kevin Hart clip, she talked about how Kevin actually tried to intervene and be the intermediary. So let's stop here and let's take a look at Monique's conversation with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay today regarding Kevin Hart.
You know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yes.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, "You're like my mother. You're like my aunt. You're like my sister." Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, "I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler." I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, "Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it." He said, "But I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do." Now, let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, "Here you go." We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, "Brother, we appreciate you," with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think
Feel like they
me and my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, "I got you," I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, "I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you." I said, "Good shit, Kevin," because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world,
Correct.
right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive use. They was like, "Oh, this is incredible," because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, "We just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky." And Dave Becky said, "Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique."
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then, that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, "Hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol," and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, "You don't want anything to do with me." He said, "Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now." I said, "Wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship after something you said?" He said, "Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication." That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again. So that's what we're faced with. When you allow somebody to come in between a relationship with a woman that you said, "I'm like your mother. You said I'm like these things. I didn't ask you for that." So everything that baby was saying sitting here, everything he was saying was on the up and up, because when you hear people say, "Get the anger out your heart," oh man, no one's saying he's lying. No one ever said I was lying. It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
When we have our juggernauts, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, "When I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that." So we have to call those people to the mat and say, "Listen, What are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine, but their character, they are bankrupt.
Like I said, you know, when she said the character of these people, they are bankrupt, their character. I saw a comment, I have to go back and find it. And somebody said Kevin Hart's credibility is a negative 1,000. And I want to tell y'all, out of the three people, Tyler, Oprah, and Kevin, I think he's the worst. Yes, Oprah offended Monique. She said some things. Tyler repeated it. It caused a problem. Yes. Even Lee Daniels apologized, and she was in his movie, and it was phenomenal, by the way. It was a horror film. But Kevin, like, between Katt and Monique, like, it just seems like he's just gatekeeping other black people. And to say you're the hardest working man in Hollywood, it's really not cute. And here's why. Why are you playing every role? Do you not have the ability to put people on? Do you not have a conscience that says, okay, I shouldn't just be doing all of this work. I should be putting other people on, opening the door so they also can become self-sufficient? Because it's selfish to do everything. So that's like you having a group project, right? And in the group project, you know, the work is supposed to be spread out amongst others. And it just seems like he just wants to do all the work. He doesn't want to put anyone on. He knows other people. And you know, the fact that he has never put his ex-wife, who helped him to get to really where he is, it says a lot. Like, this woman is the reason you are really a comedian. Because like she said, he was selling sneakers. And you don't even put her on anything that you EP'd. So as an executive producer, I would imagine that you would have at least some say about casting. And you don't add her to not one show or one comedy tour, not even an extra, not even a small speaking part, 2 lines. Like, just gratitude, right? So that speaks to a person being disloyal, being selfish, being arrogant, being self-centered. And, you know, it's just really sad. So it'll be interesting to see what his future looks like. Because karma has no expiration date, and you get what you give. Now, let's look at some of the comments that are there. Like I said, there's been some really good feedback from people, and it seems like when Shannon Sharp posts that he's going to interview somebody, we're all ready to head down to Club Shay Shay. If this was a physical location, it would be sold out. Okay, so one comment. No, but Shannon Sharp is on another level. This is an excellent show. Thanks so much for having Monique on. I finally understand her position and the way she does things. My respect for her has grown tenfold. I concur. Ditto. Same. Because it's true. I've never heard anybody say she was lying. They just said she was difficult. And that is what people do when you speak out against them and they have more power than you do. Next, this conversation and the Katt Williams conversation substantiates and validates each other. Katt and Monique are both definitely real, no phony, fake mess when it comes to them. I happen to agree. I believe every word Monique said because her story never changed over the years. It's time these people be called out and held accountable. I'm sticking beside Auntie. Now, here's the question. What does accountability look like? Now, one thing I can say off the rip is Tyler Perry, because he is on like audio apologizing. The thing for him to do is to create a show or hire Monique to create a show or give her talk show, something. He needs to give her a show or write her a check for $10 million. One or the other. That's it. If I'm her, I want to create the show, cast the show, EP the show, and it'll likely do well above 10 million. But I'll take the check for 10 million plus the show. So Tyler Perry, if you're listening, that's a good way to make amends. Okay. Another comment, Monique's a true Sagittarius, standing up for and speaking out on justice, truth, and fairness. Facts. When she told the story in the beginning, you have to go watch the interview about how when she was in the 11th grade, some 12th graders tried to jump her because she told a young man that the girl who was saying that she was having his baby was lying. It was, in fact, another guy's baby. So basically, she was in high school, and one of her friends that she knew, named Andre, was actually the father. But the girl came to Monique and confided that the Monte, it's his baby. Is that she's gonna say it's his baby. So you know what? Monique was prepared. That was preparing her to be jumped in Hollywood. If you look back, hindsight is 2020. That's exactly what that was. So that's it. The consensus is Monique is telling the truth. Katt is telling the truth. Everybody's glad that this is coming out to light. Who has seen it for the most part? Overwhelmingly, most people agree if they watch the interview that it's great that this is coming to light now. Sorry it took so long is the sentiment. But how can these people be held accountable? So again, leave me some comments on accountability, what that looks like for the people that have wronged her and tried to blackball her and left her hanging in the wind. And let me know your thoughts about the interview. Let me know who you think will show up next on the couch at Club Shay Shay. And I think it should be Kevin Hart. I found it. I told y'all there was a comment that stated Kevin Hart's credibility was a negative. Here it is. It says that boy Kevin's credibility score is at a negative 1,000 right now, or negative 1,600. I'm just gonna say this. I don't know why people don't believe that old saying, which is still valid in 2024, what's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. All right, peace, y'all. I will be back. Up next, we're gonna talk about Carisha and her power moves and her channeling her inner Coach Prime time Deion Sanders.